dude. I don't know. Look at no, you wasn't. You was on female page.
God, man, get out of here, little dude. Oh, we live, Dre. Yep. We live. Well, you gonna tell me where I was?
I saw it.
Yo. Tell me where I was.
I saw it.
Yo. Let me get some feedback. Let me see. Make sure people can hear me. Yo. Type something in the chat for me. Let me know you can hear me. Give me a mic check. 1 2 1 2. Can I get a sound check? We straight. Dark skinned Drake. What up? What up? Can y'all hear me? Let me know you can hear me. Somebody type something for me. Let me know you can hear me. Somebody type something for me. Got me there. Appreciate it. Bam. Scorpio season. Is it Scorpio season? Yeah, are we officially in? Yeah. What up? Ricky Skizzles. The Bayou Oracle, what up? What y'all on this Friday night, man? Get rid of this one right here. So we just gonna do a quick little Friday night powwow, I guess, you know. Little Friday night powwow. What y'all wanna Q&A? Let's do a Q&A, man. I don't have anything specific I want to get on. It's just a little Q&A. See what y'all got. If y'all got something for me, y'all may got a little astro question or something. If you got one, let me know. We can do a Q&A. Let me know what y'all got. Go ahead. You got a question? Shoot it. Somebody got a question? Shoot it in the chat for me. Just admit Scorpio is the best. Well, everybody is definitely the best at their station. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Ming Jean? Everybody got 30% of greatness, I would guess, because the whole of 360 would be that 12 times 30. You know what I mean? Those 30 degrees. So everybody got 30 degrees of greatness. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, everybody got their respective station, man. I can't knock Scorp, you know. I can't knock it. Hey, happy to help. What's happening? You know, it's definitely the least water out of the water. You know what I mean? Like Cancer and Pisces is perhaps a little. It's just a different, man. Scorpio got a different vibe to it. Ancient times been depicted as different type of, you know, went from Scorpion to Phoenix. You know what I mean? It has some different characteristics. What planet look like for the rest of the... Oh, man. So, I mean, we got something big that just happened, what, today or yesterday? Jupiter ingress moved into its home of Sagittarius. So that's a good year of Jupiter and Sag. At home when the planet is dignified or a planet is in the sign that it naturally belongs in or it rules, as we say, then you can expect that energy to be a little bit more dominant. So this is interesting. So Jupiter and Sag Shit, big philosophy, law, travels, expansion of the mind, back to school. You know what I mean? That's going to college, higher education type of feel. You know what I mean? So some type of expansion of the mind would kind of be the universal cosmic rule of the 4 year, um, which is taking shape. I think we're gonna see a lot of truth, because now Jupiter and Saturn are about one sign degree, because Saturn's at home in Capricorn, which is one sign over. So pretty soon, hey, peace. Jupiter is about to get ready to catch up with Saturn. So that's going to be interesting to see when we get into this whole 2020 phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, Mars still in Aquarius. He about to roll out pretty soon. Yeah, we got some winners. But I can't reveal. But yeah, we definitely got some winners. I put one of the videos up on that lottery tip. You know what I mean? Brother cracked it, but he always be winning. You know what I mean? He always in the zone too. Like always, he's in the membership. You know what I mean? So he be going hard in the paint. Hey, what's up, Sylvia? I see you coming over into that Hebrew. The Hebrew class. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta roll with you on that, Nick. You know, it's Aquarian, it's Aquarian season. The age, 2,000 years. You gotta deal with the light of the Aquarian ray. I mean, that really ain't no joke. Like for real. I see that. So that ain't no joke, because for real, like if you were to put together, all right, so in the Nation of Islam, there's this theology that they was taught, we were taught about this council of gods, right? This divine council that comes together, these 12 major and these 12 minor scientists, right? And if you were to really deal with a council on Earth of 12 that really had this piece of the puzzle, then, this is the age of Aquarius right here. And then that's the one that would technically be what you would call the 12 scientists. The Nation of Islam there is taught about these 12 scientists, and all right, man, Sprint bugging out on me. What up, Bruce? So anyway, I'm talking about this 12 science thing. Really 12 and 12, 12 major, 12 minor, and 24. And then it's taught like the 24th one is the one that calls the shots. That's the one that's the head honcho in a sense, right? And so if we were to deal with these 12 ministries, if you look at if you Google image Federal Reserve map, you will see that the banking system in the United States of America has 12 Federal Reserve districts. So this is on a dollar bill, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, R way to, I don't know, what is it, K or L? One of the two, I think it's L maybe. So you got these 12 letters that correspond to these 12 districts, but you can Google image the reserve district maps, and you're going to see that they divide the United States up into these 12 zones. And so that's why I say everybody got a piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? However, the chairman of the board in this age is Aquarius. I'll put it that way. You know what I mean? And I will put Scorpio as the CEO, because the chairman and the CEO is not necessarily the same. You know what I'm saying? Because when you understand the age, and when I'm saying that, that's interesting diagram. When you understand the age that we're in, and if you understand the zodiac wheel, just think of a wall clock, and The 9 o'clock position represent the sign that's rising, known as the ascendant or the rising sign. And if we're in Aquarius age, and this is the age that's the energy that's being ushered in, let's put that at the rising sign. That will put Scorpio at the top in the position of the career position, known as the midhaven. And so if that's the career position, the public, then again, I will put them as I'll put them as the CEO. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. So each sign then has to understand its respective station within the age that we're in and what you're supposed to do in this age per se, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely, Drake. Definitely weird. That's why I said that in one of those rhymes, messing around. Hey, it's Aquarius the weirdo. It's Uranus the psycho. So it's unorthodox thoughts, different things. That weirdness allows change to occur without going through a bloody revolution, because you want no part of that as humanity. So therefore, weirdness has to be accepted as the new norm to get policy to change. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what happens in this age, for real. Aqua Sun in the 6th house. Oh man, that's dope. So Aqua Sun in the 6th. What's that? Aqua Pisces over there. Then that would classically be potentially what? Virgo rising? Would that make sense? I think no, one before it. It's the other way around. But yeah, if you got a question, shoot it to me, man. We're just gonna do a quick little Q&A. If you know your chart information, that's cool too. You know what I mean? Hey, if you're talking about Drake, Scorpion dropped the #1 album, man, he's been doing that since his inception. You know? Boo, 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 boo. What you got? You got a question? Shoot it. Now's the time to shoot it. We're just gonna do a quick Q&A. I don't have no sermon tonight. I got one. Do you think 3 and 6 are related sexual numbers? I don't play with numbers, man. I'm not. That's not my cup of tea at all. I don't rock with them. Not like that. It's something to be studied. So I can't say what is and what ain't. I haven't made a personal study long enough to, box that science in to see the law of correspondence work. You know what I mean? And majority of that for me, honestly, I don't believe in stripping numbers down to simplifying numbers like that. You know what I mean? I just don't. And so I can't answer that question, Sylvia. I don't know. That's a study you have to undertake. And so there is easily probably a 24-year group of people that got Pluto and Sagittarius, man. So when you get into those outer planets, that's going to be, it's going to be generational people who got that same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's 24-year group of people who got that. So Aquarius, Sun in the 6th, Venus and Sag. So your Venus is late. It's behind. My Jupiter is in Aries. Feel all over the place. So, all right, Garnet Starseed. So you have the classic, you're freedom. You need freedom. You need space. You need air. I always say it. Aquarius, it's been noted. Aquarius, Aries, Sagittarius, and Gemini markers are the markers that denote they can have freedom in relationships. So being an Aquarius, you're already unorthodox, perhaps, and think different or unconventional, shall we say. Jupiter in Aries, Aries is a self. You know what I mean? It's not relationship. It's self. And Venus in Sagittarius. Venus is a marker that deals with relationships and harmony. And Sagittarius is again that thinking outside. Not necessarily thinking outside the box, but expansion and growing and. That denotes potentially you could marry somebody that's quote unquote a foreigner, that's a foreign love interest in a sense. There's a lot of, I would have to see that chart in totality to look at your money markers. If you want to look at money, pay attention to the 2nd house and the 8th house. Personally, do you have any planets in the 2nd or in the 8th house? You then move over to where you're born with anything in Taurus, where you're born with anything in Scorpio. And then you can look at the 2nd, the 6th, and the 10th. Those are the earth houses. So those are all of your money and your work houses. So the 6th house is work on a day-to-day basis. And the 10th house is your career, which could be different from your work. And the 2nd house is money. But usually we're working for the money, right? We're doing the career and the success thing, 10th house, and it usually has some type of monetary gain associated with it. And so when you look in the chart and you understand 2, 6, and 10, they throw up a big old triangle. You see what I'm saying? Because they represent the earth signs. And so if you may not have anything in those signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Taurus, even the 8th house, because the 8th house got some joint finances involved in it as well. But the earth houses would be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So it'll be 2, 6, and 10. If you have planets over there, then that starts to give you some direct insight with some of that money. You know what I mean? Gail, what you disagree with? Explain that Aries being self. Oh, so the Aries, well, we got to remember that's a general statement too, because if you got majority of your energy, let's take for example, say you were Aries, but you were born close to sunset. So majority of your energy is when the sun sets, it's in the western portion of the sky. And so that Aries is not necessarily that selfish or for self Aries. That Aries has more of a tendency that deals with partnerships because of the time of day, which is sunset, the western portion of the sky. So when I'm giving these definitions, they're really a general definition because you always have to look at the chart in totality because sometimes the general rules override each other. And so in love compatibility, Beyonce and Jay-Z square each other to the degree. Virgo to Sag, that's a no-no. But what happens when she was born, the moon is in the exact same position where Venus was when Jay was born. And vice versa. When he was born, the moon was in the exact same position, where Venus was when she was born. And so that gives way to um, what we would call the override, that system override. So you got to know it in totality. But Aries with self, generally speaking, it deals more with self. It's not the sign of relationships. It's a sign of conquest. It's a sign of, yo, let's go get the party started. Pioneer. Let's go create something. Let's spark something. Let's start something. You see what I'm saying? Hey, 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 peace, peace, peace. So Pisces in need of insight. Man, Pisces, you can just close your eyes and pull up a psychic vibe. And you should be able to know what it is that you're looking for, or what it is that you know what it is. Oftentimes, people are not necessarily looking. The insight is really, it's not that you don't have it. A lot of times we're looking for confirmation. That's why I like to kind of screen people first before I deal with them on certain things, because sometimes a person really don't need a consultation. They really just need someone to kind of affirm, and give them that support. Like, yeah, I see that. That makes sense. Yeah, do that. So, they just need that. You know what I mean? Some people do need it because they just don't know where they at. And then you got three type of people. The person who just need the affirmation, you know what I'm saying? That extra confirmation. Then you need the person who may need that insight. And then you got that person who need boot camp, because they are a freaking self-sabotager. Like, they won't do nothing. They really need somebody to put a foot off in their ass and should agree to, yo, you need to do X, Y, Z. You're going to do it and you're going to get it done. Like, they need that. You know what I mean? But with you, Pisces, I would challenge you, because I had this rule, right? That if I can show, if you show that you got psychic ability in your chart, you got strong Pisces energy in the 12th house or in the Pisces sign, energy in the 4th house or in the Cancer sign, energy in the 8th house or in the Scorpio sign, but predominantly more of Cancer, 4th house, and 12th house Pisces. If you have the psychic ability or grand water trine in your chart, I wouldn't teach them astrology because they would be dumbing down a natural gift that they have, which is the ability to perceive information. I always say it this way: to perceive information about our reality before it gets here. See what I'm saying? And that's a powerful gift to have. Whether you dream it, whether it comes to you in flashes, no matter how it comes to you, that's a powerful thing. And I don't never want to dumb that ability down. You know what I mean? Because people can they can know the gift to work on more of the pencil science of being able to measure the same thing. You know what I mean? And when you look in the zodiacal order, Aquarius is astrology, but the 12th house, the Pisces aspect, is that what I call that super conscious or transcendental conscious level, the ability to transcend space and time for real. So astrology, Aquarius is the house before that. So the Aquarian information is the 11th grade. This is your junior year. But when you get to Pisces and you get to that part where you can have transcendental consciousness, then you reach graduation point. You become Jesus at that point. You are the living God, that your skull, because remember, Jesus was buried at Golgotha. So the things in your skull has come online, and now you got this crown of thorns around your head, and now the 12 disciples, them just your homies, which are the 12 signs of the zodiac. You see what I'm saying? So you get there when you can get through that 12th house. Hence, the old Christian symbol used to be the fish with the cross, because we was in the age of Pisces and whatnot, right? So I will, yeah, you're welcome. But I would say, Jessica, for sure, just sit still and follow what you know. You don't need the confirmation. Go for it. You know what it is. You know exactly what it is. See, what we dislike shows us exactly what we do want. because you want the opposite. When it's cold, you turn on the heat. And when it's hot, you turn on the air. The discomfort automatically pushes you to the other extreme. When it's stressful, you want peace. When it's dirt, you want clean. When it's funk, you want smell good, right? So the discomfort automatically pushes you to the other side of which you are striving for. So you know what it is that you want. You just got to buckle down and go for it. All right. Yeah. You're welcome for sure. What up? What up? Anwar, what's happening? All right. So last time I fell in love with a Virgo. I'm an Aries with Sagittarius rising. How did that work? That's a different blend. Aries and Virgo. Wow. And Sag rising. Sad. Man, how did that? I wonder how did that go. Please do share. They would absolutely have to have some compatible things in the same place with you. I don't know that. What up, Ernest? What's happening? I don't think that's a go. Fell in love with a Virgo. I'm an Aries with a Sag. OG Bruce Lee. How did that work? Not good. Oh, not good high school. That's Gail. Yeah. Aries is the battering ram. You know what I mean? Literally the ram, the Dodge Ram. Aries is the ram. It's the battering ram that like to kick in the door first. Yeah, OG Bruce Lee like it ain't working. I don't think that would work. Not if they got true Virgo and those energies that you have is true to the game like that. That's like that fire on earth, man. You know, something's gonna get burnt or that fire won't be able to grow like that. Either you're gonna consume that wood and you burn them up, or if it's an overabundance of earth energy, then it puts out your fire. You know what I mean? So this stuff is about cosmic energy that is ultimately being more displayed inside of yourself, you know. Oldest son, father is a Sag. All right. So, Gail, how are your thighs? How are your legs? Even what they call it, sciatica nerve? Sciatic. I'm dating a cat, and we match great. That's dope. Keep on matching great. Set some clear goals. Man, agreement trumps everything down here. You can be any sign as long as you agree. You should be straight. So y'all neighbors. Y'all neighbors. So I'm glad you pointed that out, Anwar. So I like neighbors. So I got this thing, man, cause see, the core of all disagreements is because people honestly, wholeheartedly see something differently than we do, right? We process things differently. And that difference of processing things, you know, how we respond to that starts to dictate, you know, from our perception is going to dictate if that's going to be a problem. But the core of it is our angular perception of reality, because that's all the zodiac is. Everybody has their own angular perception of reality based upon when you were born. I just like to look at the wall clock as the model. Those 12 numbers on the wall clock represents the 12 signs, and where your sign is, or more predominantly the sign that Mercury is in, because Mercury deals with the mind, that starts to give you your angular perception of reality. And so, starting with your sign, you know, if you go 3 signs away on each side, 3 numbers up, 3 numbers down on each side, then you draw a line straight across from those 3 numbers so you can divide this thing in half. Because people from the other side of the solar system, man, I'm telling you, they see reality totally different. And your neighbor, like Anwar pointed out, like, yo, I'm a Sag, but I get along good with this Capricorn energy, which is right next door to him. So what happens with your neighbors is, once we understand the law of motion, the planet Venus will never ever be in opposition to the sun. It's an impossibility to see that in our reality. It can't happen, nor can Mercury be in opposition to the sun from our reality. And so we got to really, really understand that that all cosmic bodies represent an energy. I think we're in agreement with that. Mercury is the mind, Venus is our perception of relationships and harmony and balance and all that good stuff. And since they're traveling around the sun and they're closer to the sun than we are on Earth, that means that when we look outside and we know the position of the sun in the sky, those 2 planets, Mercury and Venus, are somewhere in the vicinity. It's either to the right or it's either not too far on the left. So there would never ever be a time where the sun goes down in the west and then in the eastern portion of the sky, Venus and Mercury is coming up. How can that be when they're traveling around the sun? So they always are just to the right of the sun or just to the left of the sun at all times. And this is important to understand because that's the mind, and then the Mercury, and then Venus is the, again, the relationship component. And the sun represents your sun sign, who you are, your solar expression, right? And so when you got the soul and you got the mind, Mercury, soul, sun, even they used to spell soul in Latin, sun in Latin, S-O-L, the soul, the solar expression, and the body of Venus, the relationship. Your neighbor is going to, y'all not going to have those 3 things are not going to be in odds with each other when y'all born next to each other, because y'all on the same side. You see what I'm saying? This thing is cosmic gang banging to the utmost. And so y'all on the same side. These things can't be in opposition to one another. All right. So you can naturally rock with your neighbor. That could be the element that's not necessarily compatible. And so the sign that's immediately next to you is an element that is not compatible with you. But the law says that since they're just one sign away, which is 30 degrees, they call that a semi-sextile, which is just 30 degrees, and it represents a miniature opportunity. Okay? Now, the signs that are 2 signs away from you is the sextile. That's 60 degrees. That is the opportunity. That element is conducive. So if you're an air sign, it's going to be fire. It's 2 signs to your right and 2 signs to your left. Guaranteed. So for Aquarius, you go 2 signs up, you're going to see Aries. You go 2 signs back, you're going to see Sag. So for all the fire and air signs, 2 signs away is going to be that. Either if you're a fire sign, it's going to be air. If you're air, it's going to be fire. And then if you're an earth sign, it's going to be water. If you're a water sign, it's going to be earth. Those elements are compatible 2 signs away. When you're 1 sign away, which is 30 degrees, which is half of 60 degrees, the opportunity, we call that the semi-sextile, which represents a miniature opportunity. Okay? And so although the element is not there, it is not harmonious, this is your neighbor. And since this is your neighbor, it's all to the good. All right? Hey, peace, peace, what's happening? And so it works. You know what I mean? It can work because you're from the same side. And so good. That was a good point out, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that was some juice, man. Yeah, man, that Mercury and Venus piece is it's very important that we understand that, man. For real, for real. Because that's the mind, man. Mercury is the mind, like how you see. It's one of the first things you really should look at. It's like, okay, where's Mercury? Bump the sun sign. Like, well, where's Mercury? Where's your mental perception at? And if this is going to be challenging, because it denotes how we communicate. Its position in space at the time of our birth denotes the part of us that deals with communication and thinking. Yes. All planets are just a mirror, a fragment of your beautiful human consciousness. Yes, you say the moon is emotion. Well, that will be the limbic brain, the part of the brain that deals with secreting chemicals, right? If Neptune is the imagination, then that's the part of your conscious brain that has the ability to go into the future realms or past realms. It knows no barriers, it knows no space and time. It's pure consciousness itself. If Mars is your way that you assert yourself and represents your physical passions, that's a choice. So all of them are just mirrors of our own internal psychological processes. All of them. And their traveling denotes what we're likely to think about, what we're likely to be doing at certain times. 11:11 beat. Oh man, we can do it, man. I'm gonna have to go back to it, and may have to start dropping some videos with some freestyles on them or something with the beat behind them. Oh, so your shoulder hurt, not legs. Do the shoulder lean. So shoulders is Gemini, right? Is Gemini. So I got this thing I've been studying lately, man. So Gemini, shoulders. So here's the question. Is there anything you're not saying that needs to be said, that you feel like you got to speak your truth on, that you may be suppressing? Or is there any Geminis that may be in the fold that you may not get along with or gotten along with in the past, type of thing? And then Gemini is a sign of brothers and sisters, so then that could also be a sibling type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I will look at expressing your own truth. Make sure that's not suppressed. Any Geminis, any brothers and sisters. And look right there and see. Because the thesis is okay, so you got a twin. All right. Okay, so now here's a question, Gail. So is there a slight issue or something that needs to be said with the twin? What up? What's that? Zingiza Bay? What's the bill? Just Q&A, man. We just shooting the breeze on a Friday night. April 1, Miss Loving Light, April 7th. Knows everything. And so I would say, if there is something that need to be said with the sister Gail, you know what I mean, with the twin, you know what I mean, I would, you gotta express that, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta get that out, because what happens is energy, it has to lodge itself somewhere, right? So a couple lives back, I had talked about doing a homework assignment, And shit, you can study the portion of your body that may give you a little bit of complications. Everybody got them, especially when you turn 40. When you turn 40, man, it starts to hurt if you ain't careful. Um, but start studying the regions of the body, and then you could start to equate that with what needs to be done. So I always like to give, like, I have personal experience with this stuff, man. So I remember the style over my right eye used to be like crazy, but at the time I wasn't seeing eye to eye with somebody. So on the right side is considered the masculine side of the body, so I wasn't seeing eye to eye with a masculine person. It wasn't the Aries, because Aries is the head, so they wasn't the Aries. However, they were the head honcho of that particular business. It was theirs. You know what I'm saying? So me and the head wasn't seeing eye to eye, which in return, that suppression and that conflict swelled up over my eye. That's why I don't like dealing with people like that all the time on a personal note like that, because my energy is sensitive, because I'm Cancer rising, and signs are magnetic. You're able to take on people's energy. So that's why I love, like, Jew is like on consultation dealing with problems, like he keeps it airy. You know what I'm saying? He goes airy all day. It's pure intellect, right? It's with me, although Aquarius is intellect, but Cancer rising allows me to empathize. It allows me to feel. So much to the point where when I started doing astrology readings, that gradually grew into another gift where I became clairaudient in my right ear, on the right side of my brain, where I never forget, it was with the general. He called in one of the radio shows one time, man. That's when I was doing Blog Talk Radio. And I'm like, man, who is this person that's dead, a family member, and their name start with a G? You're like, man, that's my mom. Her name is Gloria. And I said, man, listen, bro. And I can see the energy in the chart of what the holdup was. So I'm reading energy in the chart, and then what happens is, because I got 8th house energy as well, all my Aquarian energies in the 8th. The 8th house is the dead, right? So I'm able to pick up on that. And then next thing you know, I've had this clairaudient gift that came on. But I'm just saying that to say that you gotta be careful on how you deal with energy and how we process things, y'all, because all thoughts are electrical, chemical, and they reside, even if you just got them in memory itself. Memory is the hippocampus, but oftentimes if it's a stressful thought, what's taking place is your thoughts are telling the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, those two, okay? Your thoughts, your perceptions, and will later become your memories are telling the hypothalamus and pituitary gland to secrete a chemical, because all thoughts are electrochemical, all of them. And the body goes into this state of overload where that thought has to physically, that chemical is getting doused in the whole body, and one part of the body is going to absorb it more, to a degree, more negatively than the other part of the body. Okay, I gave this example in the book that we wrote called Spiritual Wisdom for the 21st Century. My father, perfect example. Kidneys, Libra, marriage. Oh, his wife cheated on him. Really ain't really been the same since, right? So, bingo. The kidney, the corresponding part that mirrors that external aspect of your life, will have to suffer if you keep thinking about those things. So you got to be careful, because all thoughts are electrochemical. All right. Oh, you got Mercury in Aquarius and Mercury in the eighth. Hey, man, we twins then, man. I got the same thing. You know what I mean? You know, I got the same thing. I'm a Cancer with Sun sign in Cancer. Sun and Jupiter in Cancer. You gotta be careful. You can gain weight easy. Sun and Jupiter and Cancer. Cancer is the foodie sign. That's the food. You know what I mean? But big family. You can have a big family, a humongous family. If you're not already in the big family, then you could be the creator of a big family. You know, Sun and Jupiter together in Cancer. I'll be curious to know what house that's in so you can work that energy, because those two energies together, if they're close, that's all they yeah. Yeah, man. Grown ass woman, right? Yeah, so you got Mercury and Jimmy in the ninth. Oxymoron. That means your chart is reversed. But it's all good. Mercury and Jimmy in the ninth is pretty sharp mind, here to learn. You got to stimulate your mind, man. So Mercury and Jimmy in the ninth, you're definitely a mental person all day long. Just very mental, you know what I mean? You like books and information, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Absolutely. I'm gonna come back to that. Let me use the bathroom real fast. Hold on, I'll be right back. We'll come back to that eighth house placement. Cabbage game, man. Alright, y'all. Alright, so Nick said, I heard eighth house placements can be sexual healers, right? Eighth house is that for sure. So if you got eighth house energy, I would definitely or either recommend two systems. Either you can go Indian with it, and you can go Tantra, or you can go Chinese with it, and you can go Taoism. And so, but it got, especially if it's the personals. Personals is Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus. Those are personals. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if it's the bigger ones too, I mean, you can't deny it. Energy is energy. And so, Uranus in the eighth will denote strange. that's strange sexual activity. It's Uranus. It's different. It's weird. You may like eclectic places, or you know, something different. Love life could be, because eighth house is contractual agreements, right? Where it's well, it's when we come together and share the money. And so therefore, Uranus in the eighth could be different. And it's okay to have, see, Uranus is the energy of the homie lover friend. That's the Aquarian thing. It's detached, right? So the eighth house there would denote that, oh, okay, well, it's cool for you to have these weird little, what society would call these weird setups, in a sense. You know what I mean? You get the pass. So you get the R. Kelly homie lover friend pass. It's okay. You get it. Everybody can't get the pass. Why? All right, so Mars and Chiron, Marcus, Mars and Chiron and Scorpio, right? So Chiron, I don't really mess with too tough. Like the verdict is out on me on that. I don't. You know, I didn't see Chiron from the wounded healer standpoint. It's something that deals with. I can see that. I've seen that. Like I done seen some get hurt with that. I've seen that. But then I've also seen like this faded love relationship happen too. And there's only one people that talk about that before, and that was the Magi Society with Chiron in that different definition. So I like to say what Chiron was discovered in 77. I like to say I brought Chiron to the world as a gift upon my birth. It's a joke, but I like to say that. But it's just out for me, so I don't really deal with Chiron too tough. I watch it, but you know I deal with it. But, you know, Mars and Chiron and Scorpio could be, man, that could be some damaging, serious. As a man, I would say you absolutely you should go find the mongoose, Mityama. You should go learn. You too get the pass. You can go learn the sexual arts with Mars and Chiron, because you got the Marvin Gaye sexual healing energy. You have to go learn it, and then you have to go show, teach, change the world. Mr. Marcus V. Hey. And you remember Mr. Marcus, the porn star? I don't act like y'all don't watch porn. Mr. Marcus. Your name is going to be Marcus V. Alright. How do you find your twin flame? I really want to have that experience. Oh, shoot. OG Bruce Lee. How do you find the twin flame? Ooh-wee. Okay, so I think that you absolutely have to be dedicated to your path. So you got to do, what's my man name? Lil Duval. Living my best life. You are, and you got to understand too, missions change as you go through degrees and you evolve. That's fine, but you got to be on the trail. You can't be sidestepping the trail. You got to, as long as you're on the trail, you good. So you got to be on your path, man. Meaning you got to go to the places that you want to go. You have to pursue the things that you want to pursue. Because what you're really asking is, how do I find the person that offers what I call EC? EC means extreme compatibility. That's when we say twin flame and soulmate and all that stuff. That's what we're really saying at the core, right? And so I would say that, A, be clear on what you're doing. I don't care if you're a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? Like, drive your trucks, go to truck driving conventions. Like, be on your path. Because if you're not pursuing your path, that greatness, that expansion. See, your path is the expansion. If you're not pursuing your expansion and you're denying the opportunity to expand, then you're not living your best. And that vibe, that signal that you give out, that cellular signal of expansion, you're not giving that out. You're giving out a cellular signal of laziness, a cellular signal of restriction, fear, right? And just, you know, flat out being lethargic. And that's not going to be the vibe. So you got to get in that zone and be on your path. And when you're on your path, you know what I mean? You go to the places that you desire to go. You know what I mean? If you think she in Egypt, you know, go to Egypt. If you think, like my dad got this thing with Brazilian women. Go to Rio de Janeiro then, dude. Go. Like, let's go. Go. See. It's calling you for a reason. Go see. You know what I'm saying? And and he would have the time of his life if he went. He'd probably die of Gennaro if he went. But you gotta, yeah, right? Yeah, right? He'd be coming alive like a mug. So that's what I would say, bro. Moon in the eighth. Nah, I got Moon in the eighth. Moon in the eighth is cool, intuitive. Mommy could die. Potentially leave you some money too. The eighth house is the house of legacies. People can leave you some money. So if you got any red lines going to the eighth house, especially if Saturn is in like opposition or Saturn is connected to the eighth house somehow, that can represent some type of delay if somebody leave you some money. So if you got eighth house energy, man, you need to be on your game, period, when it comes to estates and wills and people leaving stuff in your name when they die. You know what I'm saying? So you got to start thinking about the estate, man. You're the life insurance person. You should be the beneficiary of the parties when you got eighth house energy. That's a whole nother level of business. That's you setting up the trust accounts and all that kind of stuff. Right? 13 degrees Sag rising. Moon conjunct Mercury in Leo, Saturn in Aquarius. What would you say Jupiter and Sag in my first house? All right, so Jupiter and Sag in the first, man, you're kind of lucky. It's hot. You cold? Saturn, I'm sorry, Jupiter. Jupiter in the first house is appearance. And Jupiter can bring on weight. So this could be a time where you can gain some weight within this 1 year time. There's something about your appearance that can be a little bit more grandioso. So you may do things in a bigger way now. You know what I'm saying? This is the time for you to, really, because you got to remember Jupiter is extravagant. That's Sag, right? Extravagant. The big, the big daddy and the big mama. And so when it comes to appearance or taking action, because I believe that the first house to me is the house of action, things you need to do, then you need to really do things in a big way because Jupiter represents your biggest blessings and whatnot. So now it's time for you to take action. So what you do is go back and look at where Jupiter was when you were born and understand the house that it was in, and that's where you need to take action at. Within this 1 year period of time, that's what Jupiter is trying to bring to you. That's Jupiter is the gateway to our blessings when you really understand its placement. All right. So if you got it in Sag in the 8th, what John Jones got it at? Mars and Jimmy. Mars and Jimmy ain't bad. I think who got Mars and Jimmy? I think Big Head, Neil deGrasse Tyson got that. Sharp intellect, Mars and Jimmy. So my thoughts on Jupiter entering Sag, I said it earlier. I just think it's a time where people are going to be thinking about some form of expansion, back to school type of thing, subject matters that they want to expand upon, getting deeper understandings on religion and philosophies. I think we're going to see an element of truth come out within mainstream. So remember, Jupiter in Scorpio was the whole Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, and Jupiter is truth. And Scorpio was the sexual aspect, so it was all that. So now Jupiter come home in Sag, we just gonna see. I think we're gonna see more. And Sag deals with law and religion. Within this year too, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see more of that church scandal type of stuff and whatnot as a society as a whole. You know what I mean? But at the core, it's I think it's going to be more of expanding the mind. You know what I mean? Jupiter and Sag, some type of mental expansion. Yeah. Jupiter in the 6th in Aries. That's interesting. Jupiter in the 6th in Aries. So the 6th house could be your day-to-day work. Aries could be police. Aries could be physical workout. I think that's a monster placement for somebody to be in shape. Aries on the 6th house is like a killer placement for a workout thing. If you have the 6th house, usually give people some form of health consciousness. So if you ever thought about hosting 30-day boot camps and health and wellness type of things, you should really be a part of those things in a big way for yourself, because Aries is self. But as it pertains to yourself and it is successful for you, it is something that you could do as a job, and you can give that back to people, because your biggest blessings is in that area. Aries is martial combat. It's fighting, it's boxing, it's martial arts, it's health, all of those type of things. So if you have absolutely any form of health curiosity, things you want to explore, you can do that as a job. But Aries is physical, so it got some type of physical sweat to it. So I would definitely look at that. All right. So if Taurus in the 6th, health-wise, you got to remember Taurus deals with the throat and the thyroid. If we want to keep it strictly on the health tip, and since Taurus deals with your money and your values, then if your money ain't right and your values ain't right, then your money can make you sick and create health issues, for real. And so you really want to make sure that the things that you're doing financially, so you won't get sick. But it could be the throat when you're dealing with Taurus, man. Pluto, Chiron, and Sag in the 4th. Again, I don't really rock with Chiron too tough, man. But Pluto in the 4th, I tell you like this, man. There's a dead ancestor for sure, that want to get at you, that probably watches over you. And if you have like a grandmother or a grandfather or a great-grandmother, great-grandfather that you name after or something, or that you felt some type of connection to, or was even in this kind of subject matter, you know what I mean? Then I will look into that, and you will have the ability to connect and hear and see, sense, and feel that energy, which also starts to give way to an ability to, hospice, man. They're helping people cross over is a whole nother lane, but it's something that's very real. And something that's really very needed too, because people die lonely, people die in fear, and that's all. And especially if you don't know the rules of reincarnation and going through the light and all of that type of stuff. But Pluto in the 4th could give way to some very powerful ancestral energy. And I don't recommend ancestral worship. I believe everybody got to have their markers, and their markers denote what they should, they can get into. That's a strong ancestral marking right there, Pluto in the 4th. You know what I mean? That's powerful ancestors to watch over you. But there also could be a domineering parent. There also could be a sexual abuse parent too. You know what I mean? Or something about the parent, that type of energy. So it's layers to it, man. But strong, powerful ancestral energy. What's that? What did you say? Hold on, let me pull that up again. 3 Virgo. Jupiter square Sun. All right, so Jupiter square Sun. The Jupiter squares is only Jupiter's energy just simply denotes a big amount. So when it's good, it's good. It's just going to be a big amount. But when it if it's quote unquote bad, then it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So, Jupiter's job is to just keep giving you the overload of that thing of where it was when you were born, right? So Jupiter square Sun can be flashes of luck, but it can also be flashes of unluck. You know what I mean? Because it's a square. But usually when Jupiter is touching something, this energy has been denoted as the great benevolent because, or what's the word? It's like benefit. Because of whatever its job is to bless. So it's a blessing energy. So it gives to a degree. So the square, it can just still give you luck. I've seen people win the lottery on Jupiter square something before. You know what I mean? It's like, see, that's why they call that dude that. You know what I mean? Jupiter in the 10th house, man, will denote very successful. You should be expanding in career. Your job promotions are easy for you to get to. Public recognition should be something that you can get. Now, Scorpio, to a degree, energy is kind of hidden, but you could be a part of some great success, man. You know what I mean? So, job promotions and things of that nature, Johnny, it comes easy when you have Jupiter in the 10th, man. So don't play it, man. Don't play the background. Go for the job promotions and things of that nature, because that's big success. All right. Yeah. What up, John? Yeah. Start the clothing business. That's great. So yeah, reach the great. Heck yeah, man. Progress charts are important. I love progressions, man, because it symbolizes. To me, it's a mirror of who you are in real time. In a sense, the chart decided to continue to evolve as you evolved as a person, as you grew in age. The chart continued to tick tock with you. So it becomes a mirror of where you at right now. So I love it. I like it. I ain't mad at it. And it's dope because it's a hypothetical too. I mean, that's what even make it even more better and mystifying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's dope. So you'll be graduating with your master's. Congratulations. Jupiter and Saturn in the ninth. Oh man, you definitely gotta learn some stuff. That's the law too. You know what I'm saying? That's like judges and law. You can go to law school, man. You can be a whatever you choose to go to school. If you want to go to school, you got it. You thought about it, you should. You really do good in law. You can be a judge. That's how you can be a Supreme Court justice. That's a perfect marker. No, and that's the final authority. There is no more appeal in the United States of America once the Supreme Court says, "Ha, this is our judgment." When you got Saturn and Jupiter in the ninth house, that's the kind of mind that you have. All right, so you like the Chief Justice. Jupiter, what is it? The moon sextile Jupiter. Opportunity, some type of opportunity. So the question is, what house is Jupiter in? Because Jupiter's trying to give you some type of female help. It could be opportunity working with women. Opportunity coming from mom or the parent that was nurturing. And so, that's a big opportunity. So the question is, what house is Jupiter in for you to get that blessing? Because that's the opportunity coming from women or a woman. Every year should be a good year. I got everybody religion being exposed. Yeah, it definitely can be. Jupiter and Sag definitely can be more religion type of stuff. in the news for a year. Mercury, Venus, Saturn in the ninth. Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. So Venus and Saturn is kind of close to each other. You could either be the older person in the relationship or you attract older people. It's kind of like it could be a nice age gap where you got you a sugar daddy, or if you're a woman, they don't say sugar mamas, they say cougars when you're an older woman, I believe. But there could be some type of older thing taking place in the dynamic of relationships. But I will say, I think the best placement, the best energy of that placement would be if you found yourself an older teacher in the subject matters of philosophy that you like. It will be very rewarding for you. So if you wanted to study yoga, you should go to India and study yoga, because there's going to be a person there that's older that will gravitate towards you and gladly impart that information to you. Whatever your spiritual, philosophical beliefs are, especially if they're outside of the United States, you should travel to that location and you should learn. If you want to be the medicine woman of Peru, then you should go there. You're likely to get the information that you're looking for. Because the ninth house is a great teacher. I had a ninth house son, so like it's a teaching aspect. So you should go for it. Is what I think. And also your teacher can become your lover too with Venus in the ninth. So don't be surprised if that happened, or you're the teacher that becomes the lover, some type of sort, something like that. Right? See, it's so on point. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Right. Where am I from? I'm from Sirius. I am from the mother star. I come from the constellation Aquarius, ambassador of the Aquarian age for the next 2,000 years. I'm simply here to usher in that song that the fifth dimension came and brung, that we are in the age of Aquarius. Let the sun shine in. And it is all about us understanding energy, right? So that's where I'm really from. I'm from the constellation of Aquarius. On Earth, I don't even have an earthbound destination. I don't even say. North Node and Mercury in the 11th. Okay. North Node and Mercury in the 11th. Maybe here to learn to be with groups of people and network and even technology, perhaps. Those are the main things of the 11th. If you got an app idea, go for it. Don't play yourself. Go for it. If you got an app idea, do it. But that's saying that your net worth is your net worth. That's very true if you have 11th house energy. Like, it's true for us as a whole, period. But if you were born with energy in the 11th, because that's social groups and people, like, you absolutely need to constantly be inside of a setting that mirrors where you're going in life. All right, so it's more true for you. Mercury is the mind, and the North Node is what your soul is here to do. So you're here to learn how to become a friend, how to be a part of the social group. And it could be the social group that's about change too, right? Because that's the Aquarian house. So that could be like the Red Cross or some type of humanitarian organization that's about change. And opposite that, which means your South Node is in the 5th house, which is love and children, you did that. And so this is a lifetime where you can put your individual self first for the collective consciousness of humanity versus you settling down and having children. to be honest with you. You know, you get that pass. But you gotta, you know, if you got them already, then it's implementation, right? It's integration. If not, then that's why you don't. It's because you done that, and you got to go hard over here, helping humanity grow. The 11th house is about helping humanity. All right, so oh shoot, what we got on? I think Trump is Jesus. Support Trump, bro. He's our president and last savior. See his commitment, religious attitude, patriotism. He's really made me cry out. The UK, Canada, Australia, France, Germany, parts of Holy America. The arrogant European colonials must know their real place. Trump will make it happen. Man, listen. Me and Juice say it all the time. You got the right one when you're dealing with Mr. Trump. And the world shall see. That's all I'll say about Mr. Trump. But you got the right one. Because he don't play by the conventional rules. I think he got Uranus and Gemini. Mars and Mercury in the 10th. Mars and Mercury in the 10th. You wish to be successful. The mind is on success. Mars in the 10th too. That's some strong fighting energy. We've noted that. So strong martial arts, boxing, things of that nature. It's martial, right? But passion, man. Passion towards success. So that's another one. When you have 10th house energy, you should be the supervisor. You should be the person in charge. Really climb up to the top of the totem pole in your respective field when you have 10th house energy. So success. Don't play yourself. Go for it. Oh man, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, Bruce, man. Oh man, hey Isaac, I ain't, man. Listen, man. Trump is the major catalyst, whether you like it or not. He's a catalyst. I just sit back and I marvel at how people really miss the point with Trump. Venus in the 11th. Gotcha. Venus in the 11th. As homie lover friends. Venus wants the relationship. The 11th house is friends. So you should have great harmonious relationship with people who you consider friends. You should never underplay that. The moment that you have disharmony with a friend, they is totally out of pocket and not in harmony with that marker. Venus in the 11th makes an excellent friend. It should be a great friend. All right. Again, it goes back to the saying, you know, your network is your net worth. So Venus represents values, and when it rules Taurus, it can be money. So then the people who you socialize with, man, need to be people who need to be in, you know, a little bit more advanced, or it just need to be the setting that you like to be in as it pertains to what gives you harmony, what gives you balance. You know what I mean? 11th house again is unorthodox, and Venus is the relationship. So to a degree, that's the equivalent of having Venus in Aquarius. And I keep telling you, every time I hear that, it makes me laugh. Because if you're a woman, Jew don't like, you know, he be bashing the women who got Venus in Aquarius, right? It's like, it's too unorthodox, shall we say. But it's just a perfect placement for, it's the homie lover friend energy, right? So Venus in the 11th, great, great, great friend you are. Look for partnerships within friendships. It's important for you to, when you get in personal relationships, they should be your friend first. I always say that, like, we skip that stage. Like, the age of Aquarius is about friendship. Aquarius is friends. The 11th house is friends. So this is the age of friendships. Moon, Mercury, True Node, and Leo in the 10th. Moon, Mercury, and a node in the 10th. Leo. See, Leo is boss, and the 10th house is ambition and boss as well. So it's just a mon on the money. Career endeavors again. You gotta grow to that point of success and ambition, because the South Node is in the 4th at home. So you did the home life domesticated thing. Now it's time for you to go all out and be crazy ambition at the top of the world, at the top of the chart, and which is the career. That's the 10th house. So the mind is there, Mercury is there, Leo is royalty, boss, creative, leadership. Like you always, especially with Leo on the 10th, man, like you should be the team lead, the project leader, you're the supervisor, you're the head honcho. You know what I'm saying? If you're an entrepreneur, you definitely head honcho. So, you know, if you got those type of ambitions, man, you really should play those out. You know, that's what you're here to learn to do, man. You're here to learn that. What, an hour, 20 minutes already? Oh, come on, man. I take a few more. What you got for me? Hey, y'all coming over? Listen, man, I'm doing a free webinar if you join this Hebrew class. But even if you don't do the Hebrew class, y'all should do the Hebrew class, man. Learn a language, man, real fast. 4 weeks. I promise you, I'll teach you how to read Hebrew. In 4 weeks, reading over 100. What'd you say, Miss Gemini? Reading over 100 sentences, 100 words. Yeah, 100 sentences. 40 words, 100 sentences in just 4 weeks. MyAstrologyCoach.com. It's on the main page, man. If not, then guess what? Saturday coming up, not tomorrow, but the next Saturday, 17th, I got a webinar dealing with past lives and karma. Y'all should be in that webinar. Stupid cheap, only $45. I'm going to show y'all some case study about past lives. And then I'm also going to share with you inside of your birth chart how to spot friction. All of y'all should be there because I'm going to show you how to spot the friction and the karma that's in there. This stuff is real easy, all right? But I got to do it through webinar format. So you get through that to myastrologycoach.com, and then you'll go to the events tab, and then you're going to see webinars, and you're going to see that karma and past lives, all right? So do that. Miss Gemini, what you say? Do we have to know our exact birth time to know all of this? So yes and no, right? So the birth time is like this, right? So let's say today is November the 9th. And, you know, let's just say you're a Gemini, right? I'm assuming you're a Gemini. Your name is Gemini, right? Miss Love and Life, that's going to be the 17th. Saturday the 17th is the webinar at 8 p.m. Eastern. So again, that's on myastrologycoach.com, events tab, and then go to webinars. But I'll give you that webinar free if you want to join the Hebrew class, which is Sunday, November the 18th. I'll give you the webinar free for all people coming in to challenge themselves to learn Hebrew. All right, that's the 18th. So you get to it on myastrologycoach.com. If you can't find it, just call me and we'll make it happen for you. All right. So do you have to know the time, Miss Gemini? So yes and no. And the reason I'm going to say that is because say you're a Gemini, right? And when you hear people talk about the houses, the house is just an area of space. So if you're a Gemini, and let's just say you're born in May, and you were born at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, I know at 7 o'clock in the morning that the sun is in the eastern portion of the sky. It probably just came up, right? So we would say, well, hey, you got a 12th house sun because the sun was in the east. And although today is your birthday, you had many people who were born on your birthday, but they weren't born at the same time as you. Although all of the planets, the sun and moon was together, Mars was over here in Gemini too, and Jupiter was over here in Aries, all that stuff is the same. But the region of space changes as the day progresses because the sun comes up in the east, and if you say, well, now I was born at 7 o'clock in the evening, then I'm like, oh, okay, then off top, then I know that your energy is over there in the western portion of the sky, known as the 7th house. So these houses really represents area space, okay? And this area space denotes different areas of your life. Now, if you don't know the time, that's fine because I still know what? The sun was in Gemini, Mars was in Gemini, this was over here in Aries, this was over here. I know what everything was, I just don't know the position in the sky of where it was. The western portion of the sky, or was it in the eastern portion of the sky? But I still know. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say yes and no. All right? But if you know, that'd be dope. Hey, what's up, Adrian? That'd be dope if you know. All right, Neptune, Capricorn in the 6th. I got Neptune in the 6th too, man. Neptune in the 6th. That could be hospitals. You ever worked at a hospital before? That could be like hospitals, something dealing with health. Cap in itself is government or older people. Neptune is confinement, right? Some type of institution. Asylums, jails, hospitals. But Neptune in the 6th on the highest side, man, really represent two things. One, a real nice mental / spiritual healing ability that deals with using the power. It's really sharp with that. I will also say find an organization to Neptune in the 6th is like it's a charity, some type of charity that you need to be a part of. You can be the founder of some type of foundation, or you can support the foundation. Since Neptune deals with hospitals and the 6th house deals with health, it's kind of like a common denominator. It makes it a little bit more obvious of what you should be a part of in a sense. But on one side, it just represents imaginal healing, imaginal health, or deception at work too. So it depends how your Neptune is situated. People at work could deceive you, lie to you, and steal from you, or stuff like that. So you gotta kind of depends how Neptune is what we call aspected, right? So say if you had Moon square Neptune or something, all right? So Sun in Cancer, Moon in Aquarius. Sun in Cancer, I mean, that's the nurturer, loving energy. Moon in Aquarius is the detached energy. So that becomes an oxymoron, right? Cancer and Aquarius, because I'm Cancer rising with an Aquarius moon. So it's kind of like the same thing. One aspect, it could be the nurturing side. And then the moon in Aquarius has been to be a little bit emotionally detached in a sense, or too intellectual in a sense, right? But I think it's a perfect balance, and I think that the moon in Aquarius definitely denotes a hell of an instinctive. But since the moon is instinctive and Aquarius is intellectual, this gives you the ability to where the right brain and left brain are made whole in a sense. Also, moon in Aquarius could denote strange women, perhaps. Something weird a little bit, or something uncanny, right? It's detachment. So I think your biggest challenge is going to be, because potentially being a male Cancer, that's going to make you a little bit potentially more clingy. But then the moon in Aquarius is like, I don't know, I want the space. Then there's another part of you that's like, no, 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 no. I want to give me a hug. No, 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 no. I want the space. So it's this back and forth thing. That's the biggest, one of the biggest challenges that you may have with those two energies right there. Is finding that. I say it like this. I think the perfect setup with that, because the sun is Cancer, right? I mean, or Cancer is the home. The perfect setup with that would be like a duplex. And then your significant other lives on that side, and you live on this side, or you live upstairs and she lives downstairs, and whatever the case may be, there's something that's weird, that Aquarian factor that's there that allows that. It's like it's the Great Pyramid, the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing, and then it gives way for the best of both worlds. That's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah, all right. So yeah, Johnny, it could for sure. Scorpio is one of those signs that is definitely one of the most versatile. So out of the versatiles, it's like it could be investigation, private investigator. It could be surgery, right? It could be what we call occult, hidden things. What is he cooking in that pan?
Probably grilled cheese.
Make sure that fire is all the way down. All the way down. I told you stop doing that. And that pan burns easy. You should use that other one. It made me lose my train of thought there. Where was I at? Bop, 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 bop. So Scorpio, yeah. So man, it deals with a lot. It just deals with a lot. It's more research. It's the coroner. It's the person who can figure out how you freaking died. You're dead, and they cut you open and figure out how the heck you died. That's a whole nother skill of investigation. So the thing is, it's whatever your interest is, right? That's kind of bland, but Scorpio has laser-like precision. It's the ability to be able to unravel the truth and get to it, because it's pipes, it's plumbing, it's things that are hidden, it's the sewer system, it's the things that are hidden. You see what I'm saying? So whatever that is for you, then that's what it is that you can get to. All right. And then on another side, it deals with joint financing, sharing people's money, investments, estates, insurance policies. So you can be somebody who can sell the hell out of insurance and be some type of insurance broker or something. Or if you got any acumen towards investments and setting up a brokerage house. You see what I'm saying? So it goes all the way from the coroner, understanding dead people, to spirituality, all the way over to a whole nother aspect of money too. You know what I mean? And so you got to figure out where that interest is at within that Scorpio frequency, because it can be sex too. You can be your 10th house, you can be a porn career person too. I can't rule that out. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out what within Scorpio is the subject matter that you have that affinity towards, and then that's the career path. Would you say, love all the family, stay woke? Job, Democrats. Good job, Democrats. What's that what you say? Good job, Democrats. Hey, I'm a card carrying Republican. I got that from what was that movie? Ray Kroc, McDonald's joint. I happen to know I'm a card carrying Republican. Uranus and Neptune and Aquarius in the fourth. Man, weird communication. Fourth house is real estate. Fourth house family. The high side of it is definitely ancestral communication. So especially when you're dealing with Uranus and Neptune, those things are like higher faculties of the mind, right? Very detached but loving at the same time, right? See, that's what I was saying. That's going to be that struggle with those two. You know what I'm saying? So it's detached, but so it's the classic homie lover friend. I'm telling you, man, just go ahead and just Set up separate chambers. Everything will flow. All right. I have a stellium in Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Uranus, and Neptune, as well as my South Node with Cancer, Roz, and South Node in Aquarius too. Damn, boy, I thought I was the ultimate Aquarian guy. If you want to be a fighter, Scorpio may not necessarily denotes the fight, like physical martial arts fight. But it's you know, it's it's how you channel it, man. If you got other things that support that and that's a passion of yours, then yeah, for sure. Yeah. So so that makes sense. Yeah, bingo. There you go. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. You got one more, hit it up, give it to me. I'll take one more. I gotta come over to that webinar, man. All y'all should be here in that webinar. We talking karma, we talking stress points, how to identify this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be phenomenal. Where that past life pain at, where that trauma at. Where is it? Where is it? If you ain't on the mailing list, it's a new video. In fact, the video is right here. It's a new video that's up, giving y'all a testimonial where we went into a past life of someone, and she was a smoker, and she saw herself vividly. She saw herself so vividly. I wish I had my notebook, because I really wanted to research to see if the hospital had a record of that person dying in that hospital. She knew the room number and every freaking thing, man. And she no longer has asthma. And that was just, and that's what I call Neptune in the 6th, that mystical healing ability. Well, we only had one session and was able to do, I call it art, advanced relaxation technique. And, this is a grown woman, you know what I mean? Like, an elder too, like, shit, I think she easy 10 years up on me. I'm 40, about to be 40, how am I going to be? Damn, old as a mother, 42 years old. So, and she ain't got cancer, she ain't got asthma anymore. Like, never ever had an asthma attack, ever again. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, Uranus in the 6th, man. Jobs could seesaw for you, day-to-day work. So you really want to be careful about the jobs you get into, because if it's suppressing your unique individuality and it's not sitting well with you, then you will definitely attract, worst case scenario, sudden accidents that would take you out of the job because you don't like the job. Sudden situations that take you away from it if it's suppressing you. Uranus is about it's the aspect of your consciousness that wants to express freedom. And your job needs to be a mirror of that element of freedom. So if you're going to work and you're not liking it and you're fronting, it's not going to work. And Uranus can give you strange health problems too, because Uranus is strange and unpredictable, and the 6th house is health. So then you can have strange health problems. The 6th house can correspond to your intestines. So then you can have strange issues with your intestines if you're not careful. And this all could be triggered based upon you not being true to the game about the work that you do. And so it's very, very, very important to, honor what you feel. And that's everybody, period. Honor that feeling, because that's the inner GPS going off. But when you got energy in the 6th house is the house of health, and then it starts to say how you could have a health issue, right? So, Uranus in the 6th. The high side is think outside of the, be a part of some type of humanitarian giveaway or give back to. It may be another. 6th house is nonprofit, right? It's like a nonprofit organization, service, to be of service. and whatnot. So Uranus is freedom and humanity. So find some type of humanitarian group to be a part of, or even work to get money out of, or even be the founder of it as well. Also could mean you could work with electricity and you could be an electrician, or you could work with technology as well. You know what I'm saying? These could be big things for you as far as your day-to-day work goes, for sure. All right. Saturn and Aries in the fourth. Saturn and Aries is considered to be out of pocket. In the fourth, this could, man, I would have to ask the question, was the relationship with your father, was it slightly abusive on the physical side? Or was it some type of anger issue there? Sometimes it come out as mommy, but oftentimes Saturn, I've seen it more come out as the father marker. And so the question I would have for you, JC, is there anger issue with the father? Either do you have anger towards the father, or did the father have anger towards you? Because if you answer yes, I want to give you a quick thing to do to read that, because that can become a problem. Because that fourth house energy, when Saturn's involved, because remember I told y'all that that's the ancestral energy, then that becomes a blockage where this person's energy energetically is blocking you, and that's real feel. You know what I'm saying? So father mostly, mother is calm, right? So that's why I picked on dad, right? And so here's the key. I was watching Tracy Morgan on The Breakfast Club, although he was high rate this time, but forgiveness, even if they trespass against you, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, type of thing. It's very important that we all do not store and harp on the negative memory, because that becomes a trap, that becomes enslavement. It's a guaranteed pill for reincarnation. I got case study that shows abusive relationships recycle themselves through different incarnations, right? And so you got a problem with dad, then dad is going to be your little, your bad son in the next lifetime, so you get to whoop that ass, what you think you're justified in whipping that ass in that lifetime. And you got to stop these cycles. So the way you stop the cycle is by no longer participating, meaning feeding it the negative energy. And so we can talk off air and say there's a technique that we deal with specifically when it deals with that. It's two ways to approach it. But Saturn in the fourth could represent a hard parent, especially in Aries. On the high side, it is for you to build a solid, because Saturn wants to build. So it's for you to build family. It's for you to have a solid foundation. Success, Saturn is success too. So it's for you to be successful in this area and whatnot. But again, it can play itself out as some type of energetic block, because Saturn's energy represents restriction. And then if that's the ancestor, then it's an ancestor who's restricting you. And then if it's Saturn, that's why Saturn's nickname is Father Time. That's how I knew it was like, okay, is this a dad energy that you may have an issue with? And we got to resolve that in order for you to become more successful. Also can mean you could be a pioneer and very successful in real estate ventures. All right, here's the last one, man. So here you go. Jason, Moon in Libra in the second. Man, you are looking to marry woman or what you call feminine energy, that your emotion is connected to relationship and finances. So with this placement, Jason, if you are in a heterosexual relationship, then I can't stress to you enough how your relationship needs to really have financial goals, because the second house is money. If the second house is money and Libra is relationships and the moon is a woman, then what are we saying? You're looking for a woman inside of a relationship that has the same values, second house's values, and financial acumen that you have. So I will look for an accountant, somebody on Wall Street or something. I don't know. Like, they gotta really know their money shit. Like, seriously, for real, because that's a major piece of the puzzle for you to have that marker right there. Like, that's, especially in Libra too. Like, that's major. And so, like, your conversation in relationships need to start off with, what's your credit score? Let me see. Pull it. Right? It needs to start off like that, because it's just strongly financially based, where you can have very strong financial rewards and whatnot. All right. So I appreciate y'all, man, coming on. Just wanted to do a quick Q&A real fast. Quick, it's almost 2 hours. But again, come over to the website, myastrologycoach.com. You need me, you can reach me right there. Go over to mark your calendars. Join the mailing list over there. But the 17th of this month is a webinar called Karma and Past Lives. I want to help show you how to, oh, you're very welcome, how to identify this stuff. You get to that through myastrologycoach.com, the events tab, and then it's going to say webinars. Okay, it's only $45. Join that. Or that Sunday, the very next day, the 18th at noon, I'm gonna teach a Hebrew class. I promise you, I can show you how to read Hebrew in just 4 weeks. I will have you reading a language that you never read before in just 4 weeks. Challenge yourself, because one thing that I like about that class, and one of the things is that the parietal lobe, okay, of the brain is responsible for language, but it's also responsible for processing numbers, which is money. So if you expand the region of the brain that deals with money, then maybe you may expand your own financial well-being. It's a possibility, okay? The Jewish people are very much people admire the way Jews do business. That's a fact. People admire that stuff, right? And we like the Jews. Come and learn the language. You know what I mean? It's just a quick introduction to it. I'll give you the webinar absolutely free. Everybody's really coming up for the class, because I'm giving them the webinar free when you do the class, all right? Because the class is Sunday the 18th and the webinar is the 17th on that Saturday, okay? And you'll see the Hebrew class on the main page of myastrologycoach.com, all right? So with that, if you really, really, really need me, man, y'all know how to get at me, all right? Peace.